Okay, good afternoon. This is an April 17th meeting of the Kingston Recycling Committee. Present in the room, we'll go around.
Joseph Curran, a school teacher at Kingston Intermediate School.
Gene White, Recycling Committee.
Vanessa Vercade, Recycling Committee.
Todd Kemp, DEP.
John Sloan, Library Director.
Paul Basil, Highway Superintendent.
David O'Connell, Committee Member.
Jean Landis Norman, Chairman, and online we have Jess Wozniak. This meeting is being recorded by PAC TV. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. Seeing none. All right. I'm very happy to have all of our guests with us today. First off is a presentation from Jess Wozniak. Jess, you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you can do with us?
Sure. So I'm Jessica. You might have heard my name before. I also work for Mass Recycle part-time. I do their events, a lot of their admin stuff. I also work for Keep Massachusetts Beautiful. I help them with events, help them with social media. But I'm here today because I help folks with social media and educating residents about recycling, waste prevention, trash through Facebook, also in Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I do work for the Springfield MRF out in Western Mass, the City of Newton, Keep Massachusetts Beautiful, City of Leominster, recently the town of Marshfield, but things have changed over there, just some personnel issues, so they're changing things, but I used to do their recycling education as well. I think that's all the towns. So I do, I don't know how much if you have questions or want me to just tell you exactly what I do for these communities.
Yes, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you can offer us and, the financial end of it.
Okay. So for the most part, for the Springfield MRF, and it was for the town of Marshfield too, it'd be about 2 posts per week. And my rate's about $25 an hour. So it'd be about an hour's worth of work to do about 2 posts per week. Obviously, if you guys don't have a Facebook page or any social media yet, there'd be a little bit of extra cost just getting it started. Just some hours in putting the Facebook together, what you would want for your picture, your profile, filling out all the things, what you're about, what the page is going to be about. And Keep Massachusetts Beautiful, they like something every day. So for that page, I am doing recycling posts, but also a lot of reposting of news articles of the environmental minded folks, not just recycling, but it might be about beautification, litter, a lot of other things too, just what's in the news. City of Newton, it's probably 2 to 3 posts per week. Educating a lot on that end. They have a lot of things going on. There's a recycling center, you have curbside, they're constantly developing new programs. There's events. They just had a paper and shredding event and a drug take back. So there's a lot of things happening in Newton. So that job does take a little more time than the other, doing 2 posts per week. And what I do is I write stuff. I do the graphics. I'll write the message, the text that goes with it, and then I send it to the person to review it. I am not ever posting without someone's stamp of approval. Especially because everyone is different. Every town has a different vibe. So what goes for the city of Leominster might not, or what goes in the city of Newton might not go on the city of Leominster. It's just totally different folks in the community and what they're interested in, what they care about. Trying to think. So yeah, so maybe I try to get everything to whoever's reviewing it a couple weeks ahead of time so that they can look at it and say they can give me edits. I'm very good with accepting edits. Everyone calls their bin something different, so it might be things like that. Like you call it a green tote, where here in Leominster, it's, a blue toter. So it's just making sure everything is correct for your community. In terms of questions and, in terms of people posting questions or comments, I know that can be a big deal for communities, and I'll usually check in, if it's an easy question, can I put this in, this type of paper? If I know the answer, yeah, put it in. And say, go to the Recycle Smart website. Yeah, you can put it in. Next time, go to this site. Sometimes it's controversial, like, and it might take some checking in with you. Do you want me to ignore it? Do you want me to answer it? How would you like to answer it? Stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah. Please stop me. Just ask me what you
Okay.
need.
let me just see if there's any questions in the room, okay?
Mhm.
Anybody? Go.
So if you're doing, 2 posts a week, and so that would be what, $50 a week, is that? And then times 52, so it'll be 2,600? Is that,
For the whole year, or
what's the usual length of?
yeah, it averages out to about an hour a week.
That's fine.
And so it'd be around 100 to 125. I track my hours too, so I wouldn't be necessarily charging, like, no matter what, charging 125 a month. Sorry, a month. Yeah. Because there's ebbs and flows, to everyone's work. There's going to be busy times for you guys. You might have an event, and so there might be more hours. Or I might be on a roll and like write everything for a whole month. Then you won't hear from me for a while. Typically, if I have a busy time, like I'll look ahead and get a batch out to you. So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't do the math out for a whole year.
okay. Anyone else?
Well, I guess it's a question for you, Jean. We were looking at this in terms of a newsletter. How did you see that interfacing?
I'm not sure if I think the newsletter was a one-time a year event that we did on our own. I think what we were looking for was more frequent information out to the community. Since we don't have anyone on the committee that is necessarily interested in doing that.
So a question for Jess. You've been talking about Facebook, or you've been talking about multiple
It's
social
up
media
to you.
platforms?
It's up to you. I wouldn't recommend Twitter to anyone anymore.
Certain charging.
It's not good. So for the most part, everyone had a Facebook page. The Springfield Murph has an Instagram page. That's that's a good one too. The only thing with Instagram is that you can't post links. So sometimes it gets hard. Like it's got to be just straight up recycling facts. This paper goes in your bin.
Well, I think we need to circle back a little bit too and go back to how this came about. And that was our meeting in 325 or 326, I think it was. And we had a really nice guy that came on board. He was in college, where with BU or something, I don't even know. And he was really focused in on marketing and social media and stuff, but we were trying to reach a different demographic, not necessarily the Facebook demographic, because that's our group. We're trying to hit a younger group, which he was mentioning. This was before the whole thing happened with, X trying to start charging and stuff, but he mentioned X and Instagram and TikTok. He said Facebook's still viable, but it's not the demographic we were originally going for. We want to try and get some of the younger group from like 20 to 40, basically, or 20 to 50. So we're really trying to talk about what are the social media outlets to reaching those individuals.
I do think Instagram's a younger crowd over Facebook. Facebook is a little bit of an older crowd. TikTok, I haven't figured that out for this topic. I do watch TikTok. I don't produce anything on TikTok, but plenty of time viewing TikToks. And I haven't seen trash or recycling or anything on there. And, you know, so I don't know anyone doing recycling education on TikTok. It is absolutely a younger crowd. Absolutely. Yeah, I just haven't, figured that one out yet. The subject matter.
I don't use it. I don't even view it, but he did mention that those short videos on TikTok could go a long way. Plus, if we're going to pioneer this, my thought was kind of give it a shot and see what happens. Do like a short 5 to 10-second clip on how to recycle right up at the recycling center here. And, that was my thought, just based on the conversation we had with Mike. So I think that was his name, right?
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? That was really my question too. I wanted to, since he had voiced his opinion on that. All right, Jess, do you have a sample contract you could send us?
I can make, I have one somewhere that I can.
Okay, if you could
Pull
just
up.
forward that to me. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I mean, I'll just mention other things, Facebook is a good way too for events. If you have an event, it's a free way to advertise your event, which is great for moms, and just, there's times I figured out what I'm doing with the kids, through Facebook events, and it's free. And it has a unique way. If I click on interested, then each time someone updates it or anything, I get a notification. So if there are upcoming events, that's another great tool.
Okay.
And then just in terms of videos, you could test the videos on Instagram and Facebook. There's, these reels. They're not as current as TikTok, like my husband watches the reels on Facebook and it's old news compared to like what's on TikTok. But
Yeah.
you could test the whole like video portion on there too.
All right, well, I think that's probably something we would want to discuss a little bit. Anything else?
I make a comment about Facebook. So if you create a new page, my recommendation would be that you don't allow anybody to post on it, like to
Correct.
keep it informational. And
Mhm.
if people send questions and they're legitimate, then, then we could answer that. Or, you could do something like a bunch of people asked about this particular thing and here's the information. Because what I've seen on our local, whatever, is people make just not helpful comments. And there's just people who are
So
just trying to push buttons, and so that's not going to be helpful.
Right. So I would suggest a Facebook page, not a Facebook group, so that only, we would be posting to it. In terms of comments, you can always hide comments too. So if there's something you don't like, you're not quite sure how to handle it yet, you can hide them and only admin people see it. One way to know the types of information that people need is if there's a community Facebook page. Like I can always tell in Leominster, people don't know about mattresses. Like I gotta write a bunch of posts about mattresses,
Okay,
yeah.
anything else, guys? Okay, Jess, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Really appreciate you speaking with us today. And if you could send us that contract for us to take a look at.
Mhm.
And we'll be talking about it, okay?
All right, also, oh, I should mention, I sent you some links to the pages,
Yes.
so that you can see my work. Definitely all my work is Springfield Murph, like, I'm the only writer there. The
Mhm.
other ones, there's other things sprinkled in by others, but yeah.
I will share that with
Mhm.
the whole committee.
All
Great,
right,
you're welcome to stay with us, but we're gonna move on to the next item.
yeah, all right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so you want to just introduce yourself, Everett?
Hi, I'm Everett Malaguti. I'm a member of Plymouth Town Meeting, and I come here for informational purposes and also to enlighten the community on what's going on in our town as well too.
So,
Hi, Everett.
Peter from Plymouth, thought it was yesterday, so,
It was originally.
he was busy today, so Peter's not with us, and, Dr. Stone, joins us occasionally from Plymouth too. Plymouth is in the process of trying to reestablish their own recycling committee with Todd's assistance, so. They are very active with recycling issues in Plymouth, the nip ban and the pay as you throw, that sort of thing. So I've asked Donald Cologne to join us today to give us some information on the reading emphasis this summer that includes recycling issues. So I told Donald we'd like to help in any way we can to support that initiative. And I thought the more we knew about it, the better we could offer some assistance. So Donald, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. So yeah, so each year the library does, they participate in a statewide summer reading themed program for all ages. And this year is a focus on land conservation, recycling, and related topics. So I was coming here to, try to discuss with you, your group, ideas, potential speakers, programs on, how-tos, to increase kind of community skill set and, various, whether it's composting or, topics about, what items can be recycled or what have you, just kind of like an informational kind of series that we could offer over the summer, which would be July and August primarily. So, each of the departments are kind of taking it in different directions, so the archivist is looking at it as more of a kind of historical land conservation versus, actual like recycling. And so I've kind of taken on that part. So that's kind of why I'm here to, tap you guys for ideas, thoughts, if there are any known local, folks that can speak on these topics, that there would be more relatable, experiences versus us, seeking out speakers that can talk on things, climate control, climate change in general, for example, versus someone that could speak and talk about like, the erosion going on specifically Grays Beach or, any other areas. So we were just trying to reach out to the community groups that we can get a more local, programming flavor.
Well, I think we can probably help you with some of that. If you can narrow it down exactly what it is you'd like us to cover, either I think a member here might be able to address the topic, or we would know, especially through Todd, if there was someone from another community or at the state level that might be appropriate. And Todd certainly is a fountain of information too.
There's nobody home.
Nobody. So I
Throw me
think,
under the bus.
if,
Depends on what it is.
is this something that you want to work on with me, and we could come up with the type
Absolutely.
of topics that you're looking to cover, and then we could see how we might be able to accommodate that. Where were you planning on doing these presentations?
So it would be a combination of either the Adams Center or the library, and, can be done after hours. We have been doing some programming over at the Font School. However, I know that the rec department will be having a summer camp program over there. So they take over the whole building, so we wouldn't be able to utilize that space. So it would be primarily the Adams Center and the library itself.
And what age groups are we looking at?
So I am focused on the adults, kind of adult topics, related to that. There is some brainstorming with the children's and teen librarian as well, for relatable things that they could come up with, both of which are on vacation right now this week. So I wasn't able to, tap with them to, kind of get some more direct ideas that how they were thinking about approaching it.
Okay,
Composting, I'm thinking Ann McGovern. 'Cause she just did that one for, what, Hingham?
It's not so.
North South River, that's what it was, yeah.
Do you still have the hydroponic planting stuff, or did that ever come together back there?
No,
Because Plymouth put one up in theirs, and it's kind of a nice introduction. The other, just beyond recycling, I just remember when my kids were little. So John Enriquez had done a really nice summer, I don't know what the theme was for it, but to kind of visit the departments. And I definitely think water department should be weighing in on the program to kind of get people aware of where our water comes from. Because we're wells and we're expanding faster than the wells are. And, these PFAS, which isn't for little kids, but I think as adults, we need to learn more about these chemicals that last forever and how at risk we are and how lands, I think water is one that definitely ties in here that, every kid and adult should sort of think about where does our water come from and how do we keep it safe. I think, I don't know if there's any tie-in across the schools in a way that, each one of the schools has a green team in it. And if there's some synergistic, I know that you're out for the whole summer, but, there can be some leading in and then some follow-up when school comes back into session.
Student experts could talk to the kids, that'd be much more powerful.
Yeah.
So if they've got
whatever
some
the
good
relationship
recycling.
Yeah, I
is.
can,
school,
I
that'd
can.
be-
And I know that you guys, we haven't really worked together on, since the pandemic, what's come back and what you guys still need help on to develop more. I think the competitions that come, like that you read so much or that you did so much, and if there's a way to kind of tie into recycling that way where, we've raised the awareness of families. So, you're saying the adults and if they're working with the children too, of what can be done and I don't even know the answer to this anymore, but where does everything go? I think is a really interesting question, sort of like those, big charts that you put a string going, where do they ultimately go and how do they get reused and what's reusable that we're tapping into now? And
maybe just going over the programs that are available right here in Kingston. And, what role the recycling committee plays in fostering additional recycling and what programs we offer. So I think once we narrow down a little bit exactly what topics, then we can work on getting the appropriate people to do presentations for you.
the other topic I would love to see addressed is lithium batteries. In fact, as I was riding over in New York City, because they have so many messengers that are on e-bikes,
Mhm.
and there's bad batteries and there's good batteries, and someone's starting up a company called Hot Wheels or something like that, but you get your battery from this company. And then like the blue bikes in Boston, most of those batteries only last 4 hours, but the messenger people have to work for 8 hours. So they
Right.
can go to a kiosk, they have that exact kind of battery.
Mhm.
You put one in and another one pops out and you've got another 4 hours of charge. But they're really trying to get, good quality batteries because there's fires happening everywhere from trying to recharge these things on
Right.
cars, on e-bikes, on
And-
power tools.
Yeah.
And so
And the
maybe now
laptops,
all of those
the
things
laptops burning up.
are starting fires at the,
The verbs.
say the whole word.
The chair recovery facility, it's so long.
The acronyms are worse than libraries.
It's real recycling.
But I think there's an education program there that we're really at the start of and have to really be thinking, how do we make informed decisions? We've had to rearrange the way that the batteries that get brought back to the transfer station get packaged because they can ignite if pressure or heat or water or any of those.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that, to be able to interject that, and that, it has to be fun though. It's not like, okay, whatever, and sort of figure out how to make it that kind of a raising
Well, that's it.
awareness
We're
and.
gonna do adult programming as well as children's programming. We would incorporate more of the games and
trivias or
things and-
scavenger hunts or,
Yeah.
you know, any of those kinds of, okay, here's the information you got. Now you have to figure some of it out and you've got to find some of it and, you know, now you've sort of solved what has to
Mhm.
happen next.
Yeah, so some of the reading is going to involve topics on conservation and recycling.
Correct. So we will be doing book displays on those topics for all ages.
I wanted to let you know about a resource called Management Center for Conservation Science. And they do a lot of work for adaptation and mitigation planning, like in this local region. So the Green Energy Committee had a guy come in and speak one time. He was extraordinary, knew his stuff, but it wasn't so high level that people couldn't understand it. So that's a resource if you're interested.
Also, I was hoping to bring it up, but Manamit's sponsoring the Herring Festival in Plymouth this Saturday.
Management Inc. is.
Yeah, well, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, they changed their name from Management Birds Observatory. to
They've changed it a
Management
lot
Inc.
of times, so yeah. But anyways, that's you know, if someone wanted to go down there on Saturday, they pulled together Audubon. I mean, just all of these resources that then just sort of like, okay, what's out there? What looks interesting? How did they make it more interesting? Are these people that we might want to just bring in who could speak? I mean, I think the more focus on Kingston, the better. I mean, it's a gigantic, you know, all across the whole world problem, but people will feel not empowered as much as if they can like put it
What
in
they
their
can
daily
do
life.
there.
Yeah, what can I do?
Yeah, Jean used to be the chairman of the Green Committee when we had a Green Committee, right? Yeah, we no longer have a Green Committee, but
Energy.
Jean has been in the forefront of recycling in Kingston for what, 30 years, 40 years?
20. I think you and I started at the same time because it was
No, it
dead.
came in later.
Really?
Yeah, you and Mike were already deep into it. And I got involved, so we have some experience at the table here. But yeah, I would, you know, I think it's really exciting that we have a new opportunity here to provide information, answer questions, and participate in this statewide theme. I think that's exciting. Todd, did you know anything about this?
No,
No,
but I
interesting.
actually, my brain is spinning right now, so just writing down stuff that I.
Oh,
thought
isn't
of.
that normal or?
No. Not for this
Don't
time
give
of
him
day.
too much credit,
When I
Danny,
haven't
come
eaten
on.
it, it's breakfast, so. No, I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, I do too. And it always boggles my mind that there's these statewide initiatives that people don't even know about who probably should be part of the whole plan. I mean, DEP.
I'm surprised
You know?
my department didn't know about this and
Yeah.
nobody talked about it in our last meeting, so I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay, good. Well, you know, I was really excited when Donald told me that
Yeah.
that was going to be the focus this summer, and I immediately said, what can we do?
Is that- it's the
Want to help,
MLC
want to
one?
provide
When I looked at it, it
information.
didn't seem to say that Emma's.
Show you how we missed it.
Everett?
Yeah, so I do, one as well too, and since it's talking about land conservation and recycling, that one could be focused on like plastics, the ocean plastics and the whale and dolphin conservation society. Plymouth could also possibly be one of the people to present something for the kids and have something that's more like tangible for them, like the plastics, how it affects not just the whales and dolphins, but other marine life as well too, and that can give them a little bit more in-depth, but also more like an interactive, enjoyable version as well too, to get them more educated.
Is that the group that has the inflatable whale?
I believe so.
Okay,
There's also a lot of turtle rescue going on around here that might be interactive in front of kids.
And dolphin rescues and, you know.
And seal rescues. Like a squirrel rescue.
We did a thing that a guy came and he had touch tanks. And he had like horseshoe crabs and starfish and the kids could, it was an interactive thing. He'd, you know, tell them about the particular animals and
I think that's from the New England Aquarium.
Just about the time we started, the cement truck shows up and somebody decided to
He's over there, truck's still over there, that's why I didn't open up much longer more.
Yeah, yeah, they may be going to do more. All right. Do you have any questions for us? Do you have something more you wanted to say?
No, once again, I'll thank you for, giving me this opportunity to discuss this and, for an opportunity for us to partner and, do something, on these different themes. So I'll be very excited to.
Okay, well, I'm
work
gonna
with
keep
this.
Todd in the loop
Yeah,
too, because,
okay.
where he's DEP.
Yeah.
He's got access to information and resources, that could help.
Most definitely.
Tell you another one's Claire.
Well, that's what I was
In
thinking.
Claire,
too.
yeah.
Claire.
Yeah, she's the executive director of the South Shore Recycling Cooperative. Paul's the VP and I'm the secretary for that. And that's 18 communities here in the South Shore that work together. Todd's always present for those meetings too, where we do region-wide initiatives such as the hazardous household waste
Depot.
collections, and we're working on depot, hopefully in Hanover. But we get region-wide bids so that communities can make things a little more affordable in the recycling area. So it's another great resource we have available to us.
And she's a wealth of knowledge. I'm a
She
good
is.
speaker.
And Paul and I have a little influence there, so.
Just a little.
So little.
And I'm the vice chairman until June 24th, 6th.
Yeah, so we gotta
Right.
catch him soon. He keeps reminding me.
Just
He's,
remember, we're very
It's
busy.
gone
with
off the
this
board.
hazardous waste thing too, so Claire is.
yeah,
Busy,
Yeah.
right.
yeah. So there's an amazing number of topics. And I guess we just need to narrow down and see exactly what it is you feel would be appropriate for your program and then go from there. So you know where I am. Absolutely. Reach out whenever you want to go over it and see what we can do to support your initiative there, because we're very grateful to see that happening in Kingston.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. And as I told Jess, you're welcome to stay. We have, according to Todd, we have some of the most interesting meetings,
We do,
Yeah,
I just might.
but you don't have to.
as Everett leaves.
Yeah.
Come out.
Thanks, Everett.
I know. I'm just-
I mean, we do normally have 3 people from Plymouth to come to our meetings. We feel that there's a lot of interesting topics that we cover, and we're very fortunate that Paul finds time to join us because everything we do is really under his purview. And then to have Todd with us almost every meeting is also a real bonus to us.
Gets me out of the house.
Huh? Now, Todd, have you been lying to me all this time?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
I like coming here. Are you kidding? It's a good group.
He says it every single time, so he must mean it.
Yeah. well,
Unless
for the
you
most
guys
part.
figured.
Some DEP's gotta be polite.
All right, so Joe, thank you for waiting so long.
No, that's fine.
So, Jean, 2 of you want to introduce and talk about what it is?
So Joe Curran, he's the impetus behind the Kingston Intermediate School Recycling Program. He's been very faithful with that. And I wanted to invite him so he could give us an update in person of like what's going on at the school and like how did COVID affect it and were we able to restart everything? And he's also doing a project. I took a picture of it.
That's, I think
Huh?
that's good. I was trying to. It's good to have a picture, so we know.
Well, many years ago, we had someone from, what farm is that?
Yeah, there was that farm, and I don't care about the name of
It's
it.
Cohasset or something,
Yeah.
but some guy came and he gave the kids, it was a school-wide thing.
Mhm.
And they explained how to grow stuff and composting and worms and there's like
There's 8 beds there.
8 raised beds.
Are they still there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kingston.
we've been, so they started off with 4 and then we added 4 more. And the Kingston Parent Teachers Organization gave us some money last year to kind of, fix up some beds that started to rot away. Because it's been about 8 years now since we did that original.
And so what's done with them and how is that incorporated in the lesson plans?
The garden beds, I'm usually able to, it happens different ways each year. Like when we first started, there was somebody there, they had some sort of a grant and he was doing lessons on planting.
Mhm.
I kind of like, my role is to like set up the beds and make sure they're all there and available for teachers who want to use them with their classes to go out and do lessons and do plantings with the students. But it's kind of based on, like teachers that have an interest in gardening. So we usually got about, like probably about like four or five teachers that kind of are enthusiastic about it, and they'll take. Grade 3 right now has a couple of teachers that want to go out and do some planting. So with my being in grade 6, I kind of look at it in terms of like, getting the bed frames, in good condition, and then getting the soil and the heavy work, all ironed out for them. So the younger grades can go out and kind of go out and, do the
fun part.
planting. Yeah, the fun part. And the kids, I mean, I can tell you this, the kids love it. I mean,
Now, do you do this work personally or do you have the high school students?
no, I haven't gotten the high school students involved. I did find out about the soil at the recycling center by reaching out to the high school horticultural. So that kind of led me
Okay, because we
to
just
be,
had them come in Saturday to talk to the garden club about the programs that they've got going on there, specifically in horticulture. But they're always looking, to work with the community, so.
that would be
You're part of,
fantastic too,
you're
because
part of the
it's,
school
I
system.
only like know so much about gardening, like I do
Well, do you know
gardening at
Elliot?
home.
Do you know Elliot Glass? He's in
Yes,
charge of the
yeah.
CTE, so
Okay,
I would work through him and
Mhm.
see what the horticultural students would be interested in doing. They've got their big plant sale coming up.
When is that one?
It's May. It's the middle of the week. It's a Wednesday. Um,
Joe had
Um,
asked me, he wants to revitalize the beds. And
It's
he's
the
looking for the
May 8th.
compost.
Thank you.
And I said, we have a bunch of it, and I sent him down there, he looked at it, and he loves it. And so I was wondering, I don't want to put you on the spot. if this-
No.
Well, is there any way that you could help get some to the school with
Wait.
some
Get what soil?
compost?
Compost.
Yeah.
from them?
There's always a way, Gene, you know
You
that.
know
But
that
then work
truck
the
is-
other way. They have all the vehicles for delivering the wood. They could just use it the
No,
other
this is the
way.
elementary school.
Oh, intermediate.
Yeah,
It's a big-
it's basically, yeah.
Oh.
I only have a mini, I'd do it, if I had a pickup truck, I'd do it myself. I just have the minivan, so sometimes I use it for stuff, but it's like, it would just be too hard. So I'm about like 3 yards or so would be good if, I mean,
What time of the year are you looking for that?
as soon as possible, I mean, we're on April vacation right now,
Mhm.
but, as you can tell, as soon as the weather turns like this, then everybody's excited that grade 3 teachers are coming to me. Can we get out there and stuff like
Yes.
that?
The
So,
picture is.
I know that.
so I would have like the grade 6 students go out and kind of work that into the soil, pull out the weeds and stuff that are there, and then get it all nice. And, grade 6 does some planting, too, but then grade 3, we usually give them about half of the beds or so.
Mhm.
So it's just, we've done it, when it was first started, we got a delivery of manure. And that got us through a few years. And then I ask every once in a while, okay, well, can families donate like a bag of like garden soil or something? But it just hasn't kept up
Right.
with the soil being depleted.
Right.
So it's really beat now. It's really kind of
Yeah,
like
it's
dust bowl
lacking
type
nutrients.
type
Yeah.
type dirt now. So it needs a beef up. But then I don't know, for some reason it keeps going down
It does.
every year too. So
It
with
does.
the raised beds.
Yeah.
But the kids really love doing it. They tie it into the curriculum as much as they can. But to be honest with you, this is something where you just have fun.
Right.
They don't
No.
get to see it to fruition. unless
No,
it
they
stays
do.
slow.
Some stuff you are able to see that, like the lettuce, the beans. We have had. I mean, in some years it's more successful than others. There's challenges with like the watering. It's a great site on the back of the school. It's very sunny. The radishes. Thank you, Paul. The radishes, you know, they're able to get those and harvest them in time.
Yeah,
Some years we have done stuff throughout the summer, but it's hard to get, and this is where if you got another group involved, it's hard to keep it going throughout the summer. So usually in the sun, like sunflowers, we'll kind of plant those some years, and then they can get those back the next year. We did potatoes one year, were good, and we're able to harvest them
mhm,
back the next year.
mhm.
But
Okay.
Are you familiar with the group Terra?
Oh, that's a good thought.
I've
Those
been
two
there,
together, yeah.
it sounds
Not
familiar.
sure that they've been putting raised bed gardens at schools and public places,
Who is it?
particularly for what you're saying. Terracura, Terracura.
How do you reach them?
I don't know, but it's one I'm gonna put on a list for you. Just Google, you can Google it. They have a website. One year through the Rotary auction, I won the raised bed garden.
Mhm.
And so they came out with the garden, they came out and filled it with soil, and then I got like 12 plants to put in it. It was a great group to work with. In fact, at the prison, they have one of the greenhouses. That's just all their starts for the summer gardens for the public schools and public parks that they have raised bed gardens in. But I was also gonna say, so the library has a seed library
Oh, okay.
that the
Didn't know that.
students could visit the library and, but, you know, if you're looking for particular ones, you'd have to sort of call ahead and say, well, we really want radishes this year or something like that. And if they're
Yeah.
available, they'll set them
Yeah.
aside because they go quickly.
Usually like
other-
the PTO is, go ahead.
Yeah, the other resource, when I was over at Plymouth earlier, you know, it had to be last week because it's school vacation week, but, Heritage Museum, they had a lot of starts at the Plymouth Public Library that are called Take and Goes, or something like that, Take and Plans. or
They've got their
whatever.
sale at Plymouth Plantation coming up.
Well, this is the
later.
Heritage one in Sandwich.
Okay.
But
okay.
anyways,
Yeah.
there's other ways to sort of get, you know, starts. or
Started,
Get
yeah.
seeds or whatever it is. I don't know how they're doing it currently, but TerraCure is a good resource because
Mhm.
they're sort of targeting exactly what you're doing as
Mhm.
helping.
Well, you mentioned the prison. If you want to maintain them over the summer, you might want to check to see
They do the community
if,
service.
if the prison would,
Mhm.
maintain them. I know they use them for their own farm, but you know, they have crews that come out
you know.
and do all kinds of community service. So,
Well, I think it's also through the courts, the people who get mandated community service end up going out and doing those things too.
Yeah.
So they have a rotating crew.
Like regional school district.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
People that aren't going background checked on the property.
Yeah, but
Well,
if
but
it's
over
over
the
the
summer,
summer,
there's no,
They have summer school, don't they?
not at the elementary.
No, the
Yeah,
intermediate
lower
school.
grade.
yeah,
So-
so.
Well, you know, it's definitely a concern,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's something as a
okay.
teacher.
Right.
Check it out.
But no, I appreciate any brainstorming and, you know,
Oh,
whatever sorts through and stuff. you know.
Aw, are they all
One
quarried before they
connection,
send them out?
But the young
I'll add to it, but-
student who started
Okay, they come to my house, get my yard.
recycling.
No.
Sheriff.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah.
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 What was that?
Yeah, the Kingston Garden Club is, we use guys from the prison.
Mhm.
Everyone is well over the
That's like
age
a
of
lot.
gardening except me. Okay.
Mhm.
So I was glad to see the shed is.
The shed is still there, the shed is.
Okay,
pretty-
so what?
They
other-
wouldn't let us, Virginia and I put the shed together, we got a little discount from Lowe's on it, but they originally let us put it inside that hallway, but then it was a fire. It blocked the hallway, so then I had to put it outside, so then I had to drill holes in the, and bolt it in and strap it down so it wouldn't blow away, so the shed's taken a beating, but it's still there.
Now, what other
for it.
recycling initiatives do you
So
have
what
going on?
I do, I took it over from, I've been in sixth grade for about 7 years now. I took it over from Eric Todd. But there's a green team. There's a group of sixth grade students that help with the recycling program at the
Mhm.
school. So they go around and they do it on their recess break too. They sacrifice their recess time and they love it. But they go around with the big wheel cart. They go down the hallways. They take the bins that are in the classroom. They fill up the wheeled cart. Then they love this because they get to use the elevator. They take the elevator down. And then one of the challenges, they didn't take the wheeled carts out. There's a recycling dumpster out behind out behind the kitchen,
Mhm.
out near that loading dock.
Yep.
It's a standalone thing by itself. But they take it out there. Sometimes they're able to lift it up you get like a student on both sides and you get somebody on the end. Sometimes they're able to lift it up and get it in. I usually try and make sure I'm around when they're doing it because sometimes it gets too heavy. and then they dump it in there and then bring those
Isn't
back.
this what we were talking about just a couple meetings ago, about taking a look at the
Yeah.
loading dock there?
This is the problem, that's the trash.
That's the
And
trash,
there-
yeah.
If you put the recycling one there,
Can you
there'd
turn
be
it
no
so
room,
everybody can see
there'd
it?
be no room for the truck deliveries. So when originally we started it, we got the Republic for a second can in because paper retrieval went away.
Mhm,
So
Oh, yeah.
that we can put paper in
mhm,
and cardboard.
okay.
But it's, you see how high the loading dock is, it's gotta come down there and then bring it across the parking lot and throw it in. It's not easy.
No,
But if it was that high, they could just roll it up and dump it
Yeah.
in, which would.
yeah.
So
yeah.
like a sixth grader, it's like, it's a
Well,
50-50. Sometimes they can do
yeah.
it, sometimes they can't.
And it's,
you know,
to me, it's a liability.
It's so,
too.
yeah, it's tough too. I mean, then I'm out there with my pack, like trying to lift those.
Yeah.
But if there was some like ramp to go up to that standalone recycling thing, or if there was like a different, and at some points I have asked tried to get a different dumpster for that, like a lower one that students could maybe dump it into more easily.
What-
But that's a challenge, that's a
what if the
challenge,
fence could be
What's that?
redone so that you could have access over on this side.
The problem is that this is for the trash and then
Uh-huh.
this over here is for like deliveries of like.
No,
the
no, no.
milk and
What I'm
stuff
saying
On the
is
side.
On this,
back here. You've got
Back
the
here,
loading dock right here. So you've
over
got
there,
a,
you've got some sort of like AC
Oh,
or
okay.
generator or something like that.
Okay.
What could be done, like, I mean, if there was some huge amount of money or something like that.
oh, yeah.
You could somehow get this to be at like a grade ramp level and then dump it down. If somebody dug into like a slight hill
Mhm.
and put it back in there, it could be done. It'd be in the thousands of dollars or something
Probably.
like that to do it.
All right.
But that's an ongoing challenge that we have.
Maybe we need to do a field trip.
That would be great,
Take a
and
look
the
at
Green
it.
Team, they're very enthusiastic. They reached out, it wasn't me, they reached out to the WCVB News and they got on the news last
Mhm.
year as one of those quick like shout out things. But the past 2 years, I've had fantastic groups. I have had challenges with like sixth grade boys and things
Oh,
like that. in the
no.
past with like
Sixth grade boys.
behaviors and things, but the past 2 years, they've been fantastic. And then we did get interrupted with COVID where it was like, all right, I can't be sending kids around to all of the different
Right,
classrooms
right.
to do this. So we did have a little disruption in there. It seems to be going good now with like custodians. But the temptation here is that, all right, you're a night custodian. There's this one for the trash, which you can just walk out here and dump it in. And then there's the one over there where like,
paper.
you have to
Mhm.
go. And where it's like, the kids really are making a big difference here because it takes a load off the custodians.
Mhm.
And then if
Well, it's a lesson
custodian
plan too. really.
is,
Mhm.
they
Want to do it. right?
they do.
Yeah. Why shouldn't we do what we can to facilitate that?
I'm like us every year. I'm astonished at these kids.
Okay.
And then I have two groups now, and it's so like sometimes it's like I just try like my homeroom and I get the homeroom next to me. I don't even like
Mhm.
advertise this or
Okay.
anything. I just kind
So
of
now, we had a young lady come in for her,
It's for.
Yeah. the woman's rite of passage. And she implemented a plan. I think it was at KIS for milk bottles,
Mhm.
so that kids could come up, empty out what was left in the milk bottle, and then put the bottle itself in a different bin. Is that still in place?
No, that one's not going on anymore. I don't know what
Are you
happened to
still
it.
using the plastic bottles for milk?
To be honest with you, I don't think so. I think we're using we're
The
using cartons
cardboard
now, yeah.
Okay.
Well, there it was the American Milk Cotton Association, and they gave us some things that looked like a milk bottle and
Mhm.
they could put stuff in, but it's a little iffy because, milk does not smell good after it gets warm.
Right.
Yeah, there was
She-
like a dumping
Yeah,
clear
she
type of thing.
had done a nice
Mhm.
project there
Mhm.
and worked with our committee to get that
Yeah.
project in place. And I was wondering if it was still there.
The
but-
cafeteria did start, the school, the student council gets involved sometimes, like the student council and the green team worked last year to get the no idling signs out behind
Okay.
here,
Mhm.
because parents now loop around, there's more demand from parents to do pick up compared to the school bus. But so like the student council was interested also in like helping out with the garden too. So it's something that if more people you can get involved,
Yeah.
the
Do you know
better.
what they're doing with the organics from the cafeteria?
The cafeteria is going in the trash.
It's going in the trash.
Yeah, they did. The one cafeteria initiative was to, that they've just started with breakfast on a trial basis, was to get it's mandated that they give them a certain meal.
Mhm.
So even if the kid doesn't want like a little package of carrots, they have to take the package of
That's
carrots.
the
So then
problem
they
with free food too, is the kids just take it. whether
they
they
just
eat
take
or
it.
not.
So now they do have, starting it up with breakfast, a place to have that be donated if it's like sealed up,
Okay.
or if it's like an orange, because,
Right,
it's-
but what about,
the organics, no.
you
Those are-
know?
For me, from my point of view, like I would love it if I had somebody else that was, I mean, maybe we can get the school culture there sometime, but it's challenging right enough for me now
Mhm.
to do what I'm doing,
Sure.
and
Cause
and
it's a
to
mind
get,
shift and it's really hard to get people to do that.
it's hard to get them to do it correctly too. So I've got
Mhm.
teachers that will throw like greasy pizza boxes in the recycling bin. I've got
They
teachers
can.
that will throw
They can,
plastic,
they can,
film in the recycling.
but
bin.
they can put greasy.
Greasy pizza boxes. So, well, when I've looked at it on Republic's site, they said not. So that's why I go that way.
Look at
But so
Recycle
this is,
Smart. Recycle Smart
Yeah,
is
that's another
is
one,
the
Recycle Smart.
definitive answer.
uh-huh.
As long as there's no food in it.
No, I mean like
Online,
food,
you
greasy,
go to our
like.
recycling
If
pizza
it's
box.
greasy, it's fine.
Greasy's okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
well,
if
see, you
there's
learned
food,
something.
Food has to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things that-
But yeah, the
Are niche food
Recyclopedia, Recycle Smart, that's maintained up to date all the time. You just
Mhm.
put in an item, it'll tell you whether or not it can be recycled.
But then what about like, so, and, it gets confusing even for me. I consider myself pretty, better than the average person with recycling. But then what about the recycling vendor? If on their website, they say they don't want it, and then,
That's
I
what
get
you gotta
from-
go with. Whoever your vendor is. you
so
follow
that's
the
what I'm
rules.
saying is that I get. It seems to me that the vendor should have, I didn't come here to like do a debate.
Well, it depends on how frequently they pay to have their site updated too.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it has changed a lot and that's about a year now I've been on this committee and I was a pretty rabid recycler. But it turns out some of the stuff I was doing wasn't helpful at all. And so the education is the really big part of it. If something's smaller than a ping pong ball, it's just gonna go through the whole recycling, whatever thing and end up in the
Right,
trash anyways. And so to kind of get that information out there. And yes, you could do pizza boxes and you couldn't do pizza boxes. The interesting thing when you're saying greasy cardboard, I don't know if it's cardboard. I mean, cardboard's got that corrugated, whatever
Right.
thing in
Yeah.
it versus the ones that are. And so all that
Paperboard.
goes together for Republic. Do they do single screen for stuff?
Yeah.
So people can also put in their plastic.
yeah, so
takeaways?
the school has Republic and it's single stream.
So it is. So all that
And
stuff.
so-
is all the same thing.
Yeah, but they say, no plastic films, no plastic bags. in
Right,
there
right.
Is
But
something,
teachers do
no,
it anyway. so they
people,
can
teachers, well, that's like the green team, we try and, like,
educate.
we've done
Educate.
presentations to the whole school, the green team has gone to like lower grades and done like, here's how you recycle a KIS, like that's the big communication problem
And
that
it's
I have in my role too, is it's what's recyclable and what's recyclable here at Kingston Intermediate School.
And it would be
So
great if it was
that-
district wide through, a Kingston kid's gonna go through these 4 schools.
Well, when they do have a green team at the middle school, I don't know about the high
Yeah,
school.
that's what I'm working with Jean on it and I would love to sort of see that whole process.
Have it a
And yeah,
continuum.
it changes because, then China won't take this stuff from us. So now there's no value for it, but they don't want to
Right,
backward into it or, the ebb and flow of the whole market to it all. But, and then I hope this is going to end soon, but black plastic can't be recycled because it melts.
well,
apart.
that's what I just found out.
Yeah.
I'm in Pembroke, that's what I just found out. in
Yeah,
Pembroke. So
and
now
so, but hopefully that gets resolved, so now people can, but it isn't yet. And the other thing I was gonna say is, so, ongoing research to this. a restaurant, we got takeout. It comes in a compostable, you know, the high-end compostable bag.
Mhm.
Just the, you know, cutlery stuff is all compostable because, you know, it is. And the food container is white on the bottom and clear on top. You know, how much does it cost to get? I mean, I know if you have a supply of black ones that are gonna last you a year, you're not gonna replace it with white ones, but white plastic can be recycled to other colors. You know, black plastic's at the end of its life because it can only become black plastic after that, you know? How, you know, and we're trying to look at how we work with the manufacturing side of it so that it goes in, you know, and this is affordable for restaurants to be able to give you without like adding another $2 onto your meal. You know, so it's from both sides, and I love hearing what you guys are doing, and I think it's neat, because I was gonna say, how
Well,
do we
that's it.
add more stuff, but if it can all go in the same bin, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, but one, we want the students to, you know, part of me for the green team is like, all right, well, they can help the school, but then this introduces them to the world of, you know, community service.
But not to the town of Kingston. I mean, that's the one thing we also need to kind of put out. If they're doing it at home and they have curbside,
Right,
okay.
right.
But if we're taking it to the transfer station, you gotta sort that single stream when you get there.
Right,
So
so
there's that
it's
education part
very,
too.
yeah, and I know this is what you deal with, day, and this is what your committee is all
I'm
about,
trying to be
and
better
we
at that,
could,
the education.
you know, so it's just, you've got the media specialist there too, it's, and then misunderstandings from different people,
Mhm.
but it's about the education and.
It is.
you
It's an
know, and,
ongoing
And
process.
it's, you've gotta, if you go in front of, like, they went in front of a group of second graders, like, you've gotta make it like really simple. You
Mhm.
can put paper in to recycle, you can put empty plastic water bottle in there. When we start to then get into like, oh, can I recycle clothing? It's like, not here at Kingston Intermediate. There
Outside
you
the
can
school.
outside. So it's just
Is
like,
there a
it gets
bin-
so
there a
complicated
bin
that you
outside
have
the
to like,
Yeah, all the schools have. been.
Okay, so
So,
there
like,
are bins at. the
there's
school.
all bins
But it's
outside
not
of the
the one in
school,
the classroom,
but you
though.
can't like, so it's a challenge because it's not
Well,
always
now,
a
how
straightforward
much support
answer.
do you get as being an official green team from DEP?
From DEP, they have support, like right now, there's a teacher that's interested in getting a compost bin. So I sent in an email to them for that. I gave her the application. She's gonna,
Okay,
Do it
they'll
or not,
provide that
but-
free?
Yeah,
that would be
they're-
free.
they're donated.
They've got signage that we have used in the past. They, like, one thing that's kind of weird is I don't like getting like merchandise. To me, that's
Throw it all
like,
away.
Yeah.
but when we were originally done, they did get t-shirts, but then it's like, all right, well, what are you doing here? Like, you're trying to give everybody hats and
Mhm.
and little recycling trinkets, or you, so it's,
Right.
but they give me support, like if I ask them a question and stuff like that, and I register for,
Do they
think
send
I-
you lesson plans or?
they do have
material?
things like that.
They're on the website too.
Okay.
Yeah, there are lesson plans
Well,
and
you've
things
got-
like
you've
that.
got DEP right here at the table. Is there anything that you're looking for that you can't get?
That's the biggest challenge is, I mean, I don't know if somebody would be open to like coming into the school and doing like an assembly, because
Oh, yeah.
the PTO pays to have assemblies. So if somebody can come in and make this, you know,
I think that would be.
they do, you know, want, because there's so much to talk about, right? That if we went to the PTO and said, okay, can they come in for that school assembly thing? They do compete. I mean, like they have magicians and musicians and come in, so you gotta,
I'm neither one of those, so.
you gotta, they care about the environment.
Yeah, I think we need a schoolhouse rock for recycling.
Yeah.
You know, y'all can sing about what life is a bill on Capitol Hill, but you know, how do we
Yeah.
convert that to, you know, the bigger picture of if this doesn't go on the side of the road and if it
Yeah.
doesn't go in the wrong bin.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming in. Jean, thanks for getting him in
Yeah.
here.
Appreciate it.
Now that you know
Go
who we
ahead.
are
No, go
and,
ahead.
you know, what we can do to help you.
Take a second.
Mhm.
So we had, green bins to collect commingled water bottles. and stuff.
Right.
And then the blue ones for.
Paper.
Paper, and then we had the totes and signage. Is that stuff all still in play? or-
Yeah. Yeah, and we just used the green and the blue. It's just like pay no attention to
So
to
they put
which one.
funding
They put
going?
every, yeah, at this point, everyone's past that point where we were separating paper. Because the paper,
The Republic has complained about that.
oh, that to them, they have, I don't know if I understand your question, but we have the bins.
It's a single stream
So
bin.
anything goes into the bins
Mhm.
and
So they're not
and
looking
most
for a
of
separation.
the Republic is just, whatever they get out of the dumpster.
Yeah, you don't need to separate with them. It's single stream.
Okay.
And they recycle?
It's single stream recycling.
They do?
Supposedly.
It goes in the right place?
Well, that's the other.
They're a very large shareholder owned company that is doing things right. So
Okay,
yes, they are.
good.
Thank you, that's what I wanted to.
That's the
know.
teacher part of it too, is that, and I mean, I
For them for many
on
years.
email lists too, it's like, oh, we just wasted our effort here, it's gonna go in the trash. And I'm like, no, in Massachusetts, the reports are that plastics are being recycled, and they are being put back into use. And I say that with confidence, but I don't follow every,
So those
Bottle.
reports, I'm gonna jump in here real quick, because those reports are very, very misleading. And the fact of the matter is,
The reports that nothing's
That-
being
that it's not
recycled.
being-
yes, they're talking about plastics from the beginning in the fifties till now. Very small percentage has been recycled. That's what they're talking about, which is absolutely correct. But if we take this last year and how much we recycled,
Mhm.
it's a very large portion. It's almost all of it. So you've got to look at that as a scale. They are correct, because overall, since 1950 till now, yeah, very little has been
So
recycled.
it's intentionally misleading.
It's very intentionally misleading. And that's why when it comes to the news, do your research, because they love the doom and gloom stuff. It drives all of us nuts. I can't stand it. I'm sorry.
Who are
I
trying
don't
really,
like
really
using
hard to do the right thing.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
can assure you, in the state of Massachusetts, in the Northeast region, and even across the country, for the most part, almost, I would say, you really look at it, a majority of our stuff is being diverted and recycled properly. Very little of it actually does, the recycling goes someplace else. And that's usually because it's packaged incorrectly going to the material recovery facility.
Mhm.
For example, if you put your recyclings in a plastic bag, that's going as trash. It's gonna go right off the line. Some guy's gonna pull it off and it's gonna go as trash. They're not gonna break it up.
Right.
If it's shredded paper, that's gonna fall right through all of the machines and it's gonna go right into the residual bin. It's gonna go to CMAS and get burned, or it's gonna go to a landfill, which most of our stuff gets burned here. So almost all the plastic bottles, actually pretty much all the plastic bottles here that get collected get recycled.
Okay, speaking of
It's
that,
just, yeah. those
do
are
you
places-
have water stations?
that's been huge. I saw a huge cut in the use of, single-use plastic water bottles when they installed the water stations. Now they spill their bottles. They'll find some way to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
But I just, the teacher, this Liz McCartney is next door, and she is in a similar, situation as I am. But the custodians there told them to bag all of their recyclables. And I'm like, what? Where is this coming from? No.
Mhm.
We,
Well,
and
you can bag it, but when you get to the
I've
bin,
told them
throw it out and take the
before
bag.
to throw the shredded in the trash, but I still see the shredded in the recycling bin.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it. I mean, I toured a facility today and looked in there and there's a bunch of shredded paper and I'm like, yeah, that's another. It wasn't even this Missy's town, but it happens and it's going to continue to happen, but
So there's
But you have to learn
always
that. too.
Yeah, it's
opportunities to
education.
educate.
it's education.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you, we can try and work on something. I don't know if you have a card or anything. Well,
Sure, because it's profession.
perfect. I'm that they get, people still have, it's been a while since I've been in the business world, so people still have business cards.
So you just make your phones kiss and
I
it
never hand
gives
them out
all the
anymore.
information.
You know what I mean? Well, I appreciate your time and I'll reach out. Anytime is fine. And, if you were able to get 3 yards, on that back hill, be great. If you want me to be there when somebody comes, I can be there.
Oh, just send me an email with the
Yep.
time you're around.
Great.
Okay.
Joe, thank you for taking.
Thanks a
time
lot.
to
I
come in.
appreciate your time. I mean to go over, but I
All
get
right.
worked up about it.
Well, let us know
Thank
what
you
we
very
can
much.
do to help
All right.
support what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Alrighty, thank you. Take care.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
You have my email, so if you need something, send it and then you can pass it to the group too,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, all
okay.
right, thanks a lot, Gene. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you, bye-bye.
All right, back to the mundane. Approve the minutes of our March 12th meeting. Vanessa had sent those out recently
Make them look easy.
as presented.
Wait, there's some changes. You wanna?
Paul made some changes, that's more.
Are they minor? or
Yeah,
major?
they're minor.
Okay.
Comma
As
here.
amended.
Were you at that meeting is the question?
Yes,
You were.
was the one with, what's his name on the screen, Michael, right?
No, it was the one before that. It was on the 12th.
Yeah, we had 2 meetings
I
last
don't
month.
know if you didn't come or you left, or I almost think you weren't.
I
at
think
it.
he couldn't come for some reason. I'm pretty sure. We're talking about the
I know
12th.
it's busy on one of the days.
Everett was here. Was he here?
Um,
Put you on the
Yes,
spot.
Everett was here on the
No, I know
12th,
Everett was, but I'm trying to.
I
vouch
remember
for-
tying my shoes this
but
morning.
Todd was not.
Todd was not, so I'm scratching him.
Todd
from
was
it.
not,
That was why
Everett
he
was.
was italics.
Yep.
One was a spelling that Paul put in. David didn't add any, so minor changes.
Okay, and you'll send us out the revised,
Yes.
okay? So
We need a
Jean,
motion.
do you want to restate your motion?
Make a motion. Accept the meeting minutes from the 12th as amended.
All right, do we have a second? So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so that's 4-0. Thank you. And Vanessa, you'll be getting the minutes of the.
26th, yeah,
Okay, the 26th out to us shortly.
along with these probably for the next meeting.
Okay, all right, sorry, we're backing you up, by having all these meetings. Okay, okay, so we already did the library. Paul,
Yes,
you're up next. What do you have for us? Where are you and Vanessa on the signage?
I'm still doing my research.
Okay,
research we're still working on.
okay,
I did manage to get a combination lock for transfer station gate for
Black Earth,
the Black Earth.
okay,
I just have to teach my employees how to lock two locks together so they work like they're supposed to, but that's just training and education.
okay, so lock for Black Earth, and is that working for them?
Nah, I wasn't here last Friday, but I didn't get a call, so I assume it must be working,
Okay,
which is a good thing.
all right. So Vanessa, you're still working on doing some research?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
On the topic of Black Earth, so I went up to Vermont for the eclipse.
You did?
I'm so
Yeah.
jealous.
I was up in Allberg, which is like the intersection of Vermont, New York, and Canada.
Okay, so you're
Wow.
on the path.
Yeah.
And did you spend the night up there? Or did you get the traffic on the way back?
I spent 2 nights up there. I
Nice.
went up on
That's great.
Sunday and I came back on Tuesday.
Good thinking.
So we stayed with a friend of ours. How's recycling going? What are you doing with your food waste? Da, 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 da. Because Vermont's one of the states that requires organic waste recycling.
Mhm.
Going great, except the company just tripled the rate. Like
Tripled?
nobody was told about it, no, but whatever.
Mhm.
So the center can't afford to pay it, so they're all throwing that right into their trash until that can be resolved. So, you know, there's like, we can make the law, but then we can't enforce the law if we don't have the players on
Because
the
there's like
table.
one composter up there and that's why, just they know that and they raise the. rates.
Okay,
And so
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 it's
he as a
monopoly.
resident was very, very distraught
everybody-
about it. And he said, you know, I'm sort of sneaking it in because I know you know, my heart says I shouldn't be doing this, but this is what they're saying is the solution until they can work out. You
Well,
know.
and that's when laws and bylaws and stuff like that fail, is when you don't have a competition to sustain it. When you have the competition, you're fine. If you don't, they jack the rate up because they know they're the only game in town, so.
well, we're kind of at that
Yes,
point.
we
I
are.
mean,
So there's
there aren't
more
that
of
many
that.
people in this area either. Black Earth kind of has the
Yeah.
market, but fortunately.
I
they've
can't force
been
people to open up
consistent.
businesses.
Oh, I
They
know.
could, but
No, you
I know.
cannot.
there's plenty of incentives to open one
And
too. I
Vermont
mean,
has lots of incentives for businesses. I don't know if, and they've got plenty of land until.
we've got a $500,000 grant for someone to help start this stuff and nobody's jumping it. It's weird.
Do you know where Black Earth is and getting a location?
Down
from
here?
Sash or
Oh,
anything?
gosh, no, I haven't talked to them and
All right, because I'm a few months out yet from having that conversation with Sean.
we did, so Ken Stone has been bringing it up really hard in Plymouth with the new DPW staff there that we, you know, I really want a place here. I really want a place here. So
Are they
James
reaching
doesn't have
out
the
to
time.
Black Earth?
Huh?
Are they reaching out to Black Earth?
yes,
Okay,
I believe they are. He was going to, Ken was tasked with getting some prices and rates, but the problem is they just don't have the space down there to have even bins.
Did he ever talk about them? I'm trying to remember. He and I had a long conversation not that long ago, but I can't remember.
You might have,
Okay.
but no, we're working on it. That's why we want the recycling, that's why I want the recycling committee to get formed, because this is all projects that the committee could work on and take that off of James's plate and the
Right,
DPW, so,
Yeah.
So wait, is Plymouth who are you waiting, forming it? Plymouth?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to get
yeah.
a recycling committee going.
We're real close. We've already got a couple people on the board, so.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
No, he. Are you
There'll
gonna
probably
do
be a tie between me and Ken.
All right, so compost bins for sale at the town. I sent that in for Jana downstairs to get that redone. I haven't heard back from her.
What's on that?
Is it on there now? Okay, that says, so if you say search on compost bins,
Yeah.
it takes you right to the spot.
I do believe it does.
Wait, so you have them already?
There's some compost bins we have already.
What, are they the turning or they're
No,
the,
no,
Yeah,
The
there are
vertical-
two, right?
yeah,
they
Yeah.
come apart pretty easily?
yeah. And what are the,
And what's the cost?
$25.
that's what I thought. Okay,
No,
Oh,
you
we
can
should
charge
have
more.
talked with him about.
Well, he's trying to get a free one from them.
Yeah, we
What?
should do that too.
He's not just trying to get a free DEP compost bin.
Oh, through Green Team? Yeah, they can still find for
Right.
free.
Yeah, are they that kind or what kind? Oh, wait,
They're the round, but they're
it's the one
different.
that has the little door at the bottom or it's the one
I
that has?
don't know if we have
No,
those
this
anymore.
one's- No, the one that the schools get is a big round thing that it's
Yeah,
literally
so-
a flat piece.
Right,
Right.
I mean,
So you-
that's,
It's like a huge, it's like a piece of drywall, then you have to,
Right,
Yeah.
but then those clips break.
I don't use them, so.
So I had one and I find I think it's laying under a wood pile or something now because I don't have the clips to put it back together.
I put a strap around it, those come along things, you get to hold the load down on top of the
Mhm.
car.
Yeah.
You
So
have to do
put it
two.
around it. and
Well,
I
anyways,
put
but
it in the middle, because it was.
yeah, but I think that's something DP does. You gotta have a supply of those or they become trash too quickly. So
go to
that's-
Lowe's and get a couple of bolts and nuts.
Just drill a hole.
They have single, well, if the clips are going through the plastic.
I think
some
Hingham,
bolts
when we toured Hingham, didn't they bolt those? I think they did,
Probably stainless steel.
because they have the same ones. I think they drill them and use bolts. to-
So how many do you have?
Off the top of my head, I do not know.
Is
We're
that
gonna
something we
order
could
some more,
put,
right?
set up over the summer with a price tag on it saying you can buy them at the barn? I don't know if you have space for it or any
Sure you
interest
do.
or
You got plenty.
whatever, but I think, to sort of, if people want to start home composting, they have the resource right here in town.
Yeah, I mean, if it's putting words out there, so,
They're only 3 feet around.
something like
Yeah,
that.
so not huge.
Right in the middle of your
Courtyard,
courtyard.
that's a big word, yeah.
Perfect.
Just a suggestion. It's clean in the beginning too. That's what's nice.
They're really pretty when they're new.
okay, so Paul, stickers go on sale June 3rd.
June 3rd, Monday, June 3rd.
And they will have this lovely 4-in-1.
Let's see that. first.
Thank you. And Paul, because people won't know what it is when you give it to them. I have put together a lovely little flyer.
Look at that
I'm gonna have
Say
Lynn
anything?
laminate
Oh,
it,
it's a full pen.
Yeah.
and you can put it up on the
on the
window,
window.
so people know exactly
Exactly
what
what
it
it
can
is.
do.
And you can, okay, so it's
All right.
Did you get it printed or no?
all about booze.
Are they gonna be printed or not?
Yes. They will say Kingston Recycles.
Excellent. And they'll be blue or green?
They are blue. They do not offer green,
Okay.
but I thought blue was probably the next preferable. I didn't think we wanted white or red, so. So
No,
3,000 have been ordered as soon as they get the money, and I'm gonna have everybody sign off on that right now. So that the check will be in the mail to Jessie, and then she will have them manufactured and sent to us, so you can.
Can I see the
expect it.
drawing that Jimmy made?
Mhm.
You gotta explain to Todd what they do.
What's the fourth thing? I see the 3.
It's a jar opener.
Yeah.
It's a bottle opener.
So it's, okay, so
Oh,
it's,
so no, it's
you
like
can open a
this. See,
bottle
if you
or a
do a
jar.
canning jar, that is how you pop the seal.
Yep.
But you can also use it on big lids. That one you missed, right?
yeah, no, I got that one, but I was thinking it was a pull tab.
The pull tab, you know,
Mhm.
So it's a multi.
Yeah.
there's the pull tab. Like that.
You got the bottle.
Like-
No, this is the bottle cap. That's the pull tab.
That's also the,
This,
Jar
right,
opener.
and this would be the cap, the thing on the cabin.
use on your bike. Not loose on the back too.
Okay, so Paul, probably in about 3 to 4 weeks, you can expect a shipment of 3,000.
Wow,
Okay,
3 to 4 weeks. Ooh, get this
Oh,
up.
there's the pull tab thing. Now I see it. It's in the tip of it.
yes.
No, not that one,
No,
not
no,
that
no.
one. Look at, see where, no,
Or there.
there's an
No.
opening at the
No.
very tip.
See, yes, I get it too.
Right there.
Oh,
See
okay,
that?
that
That's it.
can.
That's the four.
Ah, I didn't see that.
There
I
we
thought that was
go.
the,
That's
this was
what I
the,
thought too.
that this one was.
No, because you use that for 2 and it can only be for 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, where's the fourth?
Oh, right there, yeah. Look at that.
I'll use it for that.
Donald, we spent weeks trying to figure out what we were gonna order.
Mhm. It's a topic of many different meetings.
So we're really hoping for feedback when they go, "Oh, this," or whatever, you know, I want bags. No bags this year, sorry.
Jean is still advocating for bags.
Hemp ones.
Not for that price. I know, I couldn't believe that was the price.
What about the weird tiki hut thing he wants? What's it called?
Quads.
Quonset hut.
Let's not go there.
Yes, let's bring that up again. I wanted him to talk about that. Drive through Quonset hut.
Anyways, I'll be in front of the selectmen next Tuesday evening to discuss sticker fees.
They get up.
And,
My recommendation is that they stay the same.
okay,
We'll see what the selectmen do next.
How long is your contract good through for all the?
29.
Oh, you're good then.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
we're good.
We're good in my.
Whatever.
My duration.
We just had to do Hanson's.
Say, so you're going before who, finance or selectmen or?
Selecting Tuesday night, 23rd. So we will know by the 23rd.
Can they actually overrule you and say they're going up?
No, they've
I didn't
never
know.
done that.
No, but I mean, they could if they wanted to. They don't. They usually follow the recommendations, and since we went up considerable last year.
Yeah.
And the town has $2.something million in free cash.
The only one of my towns with free cash.
No.
Everyone
I
else-
was told yesterday by the town planner that there are gonna be staff cuts because the budget is so tight.
What?
Well, it all depends on what goes on tonight. The Silver Lake School Committee is
Yep.
coming in front of the Finance Committee for the first time this year about their budgets.
Man,
Yeah.
Their
which
budgets
is
are already in the red.
Much increased, much increased.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that across the board, so.
So we'll see what happens at that. What else? All things transfer station. We received the new 2024 Freightliner tractor.
Oh, we talked about that.
Whoa.
Did
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Wait, you got a 2024 tractor in 2024?
No, 2020, actually 2022 tractor.
Is it
All right, I was
really
gonna say, there's no
tractor or
way
is
you're
it
gonna
like
that
a
quick.
backhoe combination thing?
It's a tractor. A tractor is what goes
Pulls
next to
trailer.
it. Pulls trailer.
Okay.
So it's just a tractor because we have an issue with the leasing company about tractor trailers. It's a tractor. So we're supposed to get that inspected next week when the vendor comes in to do the safety checks on all our vehicles. And then once that gets the sticker, then it'll be into all the trailers for us,
Great.
which is hugely a plus. We hired a vendor to repair some of the coal mingle, was it the coal mingle or the C&D dumpsters?
So one of the dumpsters.
Yeah, we'll fix one of them. And, as everybody knows, this is weekend is Clean Kingston weekend. It's on Facebook.
Mhm,
I know that Selectman Enberg is leading that charge.
mhm.
So if anybody's watching this meeting and want to help keep Kingston clean, if you go on the town's website, I do believe it's listed there. It's also under the Facebook for,
Which
Keep-
one?
I'm a dinosaur, Vanessa, so I couldn't tell you which Facebook is.
Yeah,
better than the
there's
others.
4 of them, so.
I think she's got them on all 4, so it should be something there. Keep
So-
Kingston clean, and that's next weekend.
Okay, and then there's another one on Sunday, sponsored by the Democratic Town Committee and the Landing. And if you participate and bring a bag of roadside trash, you can get a free membership.
For a year to the
Free.
road.
Yeah,
Means you can take your canoe down there and bark
yeah, yeah.
I don't
And
know.
where are you asking them to bring the trash?
to the landing and
To the
the.
Landing, and
Deliver it to the
they're
transfer
gonna
station.
take care of it. Have you been talking with Pine?
No.
Okay, well, she's obviously made provisions for getting rid of it.
Okay.
Not that you're aware of, right?
Not that I'm aware of, but I, you know.
Yeah, and the garden club will be cleaning up the police station and Pottle Street on Saturday, also as part of the Keep Kingston Cleans.
Say that again, police station and
Pottle
Bottle
Street.
Street.
You gonna get a police detail for that?
No.
Sorry. Too soon?
No, I just had to go in front of the finance committee to get my funding back for the agricultural commission. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
well, you know, if I need 2 police details for my ag fair, that's $1,500.
Mhm.
Yeah, they cut me back to $250. I said, can't do it for $250. So
So
they put
now
me,
someone has to get laid off, Gene. Don't you
yeah, I
feel
guess
bad?
for $750. Yeah. Okay, so following along on Black Earth and organic collection, I just paid the bill for Black Earth again. And Paul and I and David and Jean had walk-on roles too. We did a cable TV program on the organics collection here in Kingston. Neither Paul nor I have seen the finished product. They were trying to get it ready for Earth Day. So they interviewed both of us in the highway barn. Yeah, we had the real stuff behind us for the,
Did it rain that day?
Oh,
oh, poured rain. It poured rain. You know, first we're at the transfer station trying to show how you put your stuff in the bin. Yeah, and it's blowing rain,
I felt so bad.
and then we go on camera, after that.
I remember that last email. It was like, it's gonna rain tomorrow. Then all of a sudden I
Yeah.
see Vanessa like conveniently being busy.
Yeah,
She was out of state that day, wasn't it?
I didn't want to have a bad hair day.
It was-
yeah,
I had one of those and they interviewed me for that.
I was like big planning.
yeah. So we're hoping that project works out good for them. They're trying to convince their community and their DPW director that they should implement an organic collection program. Because we did try and show just how simple it is, and the fact that we promised Paul there would be absolutely no staff involvement, no equipment involvement. And it would just be the committee getting community members to participate, and, we've arranged with Black Earth for the pickup.
Except for the key. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's always a key.
one of the things that we Paul and I talked about and that I shared with you is that next fall, we want to have a plant exchange, all the leftover mums and other things that people are putting on the compost pile instead of replanting. And then it came to my attention that a lot of people get potted plants for Easter. And guess what they do with them? They throw them in. So Paul, what do you think next spring?
We'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it. All right.
Let's just get through summer first, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what I want to do is either get an old set of stairs, maybe 4 or 5 levels, or go back to college days and get some cement blocks and some boards or something, but, set up kind of a tiered area where we could have the plants go. What do you guys think? Does anybody ever come in with some old stairs?
Usually
We should have saved it from the swap shop.
Yeah, what happened to the stairs from the side?
You just throw those away, Paul.
Yeah, I don't think we recycled those. No, I don't. think we used.
You got rid of them?
We must have.
They're not there anymore, right? So.
Those would have been ideal.
When the time comes, we have the boys start looking for 6-foot pieces of 2x8.
Okay,
Almost every week somebody's dropping off a couple of cinder blocks.
okay, good.
Plus, Dave's very talented with his carpentry skills.
Yeah,
And so is his son, Michael.
Yeah.
And myself.
well, first you have to build me a corral.
you put them?
I want to put it right next to the organic collection.
Mhm.
Donald,
right
have you
there in
been
that
to our transfer station?
I have not had the pleasure.
He can, you're out of
Oh.
town.
Well, I'll take you to lunch one day and we'll do a little tour of the
Party, yeah. Where your nightclub goes.
recycle area, but it's very well laid out. And we've added the organic collection corral, which keeps falling apart. And then right next to is where I want to put the plant exchange, and I did mention it at Garden Club and everybody was very happy to hear about that. while we're talking about garden club, I just want to give kudos to Donald and his staff. We just had the Books in Bloom
Yeah, that
at
was
the
really nice.
library, where garden club members chose a book and put together a floral, some sort of green floral arrangement to represent the book. And this was the second year
That is
that
correct, yes.
that Donald hosted us there. Very creative and,
I don't
Well
know why
placed.
it does.
Yeah.
I think the space allocations were really great,
Yeah.
where they were really
Yeah.
drew you in.
yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
cool, actually.
So there's a lot of synergy going on, you know, in the community, different organizations really starting to work together, you know, and where I've got my hands in a lot of these, I'm trying to
Everything.
keep that, not everything, but you know, associated things working together, you know, including conservation and the library and all the other committees in agriculture, you know, trying to get it all. There's so many overlaps in interest and ideas and keeping it all moving along.
Somebody from the garden club approached me 2 weeks ago about something, and I cannot remember what it was.
Oh, who was it?
I can't remember her name. It was her and her husband.
Was it Chris or was it
What's her last name?
Jan King?
I think Jane.
Her husband was just out here. He's part of the veterans.
It might have been him, but I can't remember what she wanted. She's supposed to send me an email.
Okay,
And then on another note, the lady that bought John Allegheni's house across from Kingston, Hamilton, has that big garden out there,
Yeah, the Crooked Barn or whatever.
whatever it's called. Do you know her?
who at least?
That's her name, right?
Yeah,
Because last year I gave them
compost.
compost.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to supply some of the flowers for the garden club. That was the deal.
Okay,
Did you get anything from them last year?
I can't say. I'm not an officer of that.
When you go back to the garden club, could you find that out, please? Because if they come and ask me again,
Mhm.
I want to make sure that, you know,
Okay.
I mean, it's good compost, as everybody knows,
Yeah, okay.
but you know, I like to at least have something from the garden club to, you know.
Huh, I thought I had my, thought I had my flyers.
Mrs. King's a e-board member of the garden club.
Hmm?
Is she on the executive board?
Who?
Mrs. King?
Jan King.
Because I thought she said she was the president.
That would be Chris.
Okay, that's the one that,
Okay,
and I can't remember for the life of me
okay. Chris.
whether it was more compost.
Okay. Okay, I will.
Okay.
And just a reminder that we are having the organic or the native plants program, April 30th. April 30th at the Council on Aging, the native plant sale. I'm working with Matt down in Conservation and Garden Club and AgCom. And then they're going to allow people to order online, pay online. And then everybody gets a 10% discount on your native plants. And they're going to group them by purchaser and drop them off at the highway barn, and people can pick them up on June 1st.
Want a sample compost bin to advertise?
Mm.
Well, now we're just selling people. We're
No,
not,
but you
we're
could
not
have one
selling
and say,
anything,
go to the barn and buy one.
except it won't be open on Saturday.
No, so,
They can go, it's their residents, they can go any day of the week.
right, Monday through Friday. Yep.
Okay, moving right along. So let me see, the newsletter. Oh, I'm just waiting for the 23 data.
You don't got that yet?
No. So as soon as I have that, I can
Aye.
release it. Okay. Okay, so.
What's
it's
she waiting
been
on from you?
The, all the numbers from last year.
Yeah, from 23, the last I had was 22. So as soon as that's ready, the newsletter will go out. Hand sanitizer, when are we gonna get a true corral that we can put up the hand sanitizer?
You have to appropriate the funds for buying lumber.
We've got funds.
Unless,
We're sitting on what?
How much? $200? No more, no less? 200?
200.
Do you want to make it out of pallets? I have a bunch of
No,
pallets.
I was
They
thinking-
haven't worked
no,
out so well.
No, I think we should just spend the money, get some pressure treated full
Pressure
bed
treated,
floors and maybe
right.
some pressure treated stock.
Okay.
Yep.
And do it so it just doesn't go anywhere.
So how
And then
much
we can-
money do you need?
I don't know. I can do it, put it on a credit card, and I can be reimbursed. if you
Okay, but
want
we
to do
need
it.
to authorize.
Right, so no more than $500?
Yeah.
Do I have a
yeah,
motion?
that's-
I move
Up
to
to,
up to $500 for lumber for the corral.
Second.
For materials for the crown.
For the food waste, correct. Yeah,
Any-
because the
any-
hand sanitizer in my office.
Yeah,
we can just. attach
Pretty
it.
soon you'll have a whole lot of jar openers too.
was there any discussion on that motion?
Yeah,
Oh,
they edited my whole thing. I'm rewriting it.
Okay,
The lumber or
Materials.
materials for the food waste corral.
organic collection,
Yeah.
organic material crown. Okay, so we had a second on that. Any
Who
discussion?
was the second?
Jean,
Jean. Okay.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so 4-0. Okay, so the ball's in your court, David. Oh, Michael, tell him he's got a project. He's got
If you do it on a Thursday or Friday.
Michael's a busy boy right now.
Okay. Swap shop. Where are we on the swap shop? I did get an email back from Halifax. What's her name?
Susan,
Susan. She invited us to come when she's working. I sent it out and I didn't get any responses.
Well, it rained or something canceled and then I didn't see
Well,
that it was
yeah.
rescheduled.
So we can schedule it whenever. I'd like to go over, take a look at what they've got. You know, and then we had one shed company we had looked at, Ferry Morse or whatever. It is. Very
Really
expensive.
expensive. Yeah, they're
Very expensive. I saw one the other day for tough sheds, but I haven't had a chance to look it up. The one we were looking at was down in Connecticut. But I want to get this ball rolling, because we now have the opportunity to apply for a grant. And Todd, you said you would help Paul and
I heard him.
do the application.
Wings.
And that is due June's 12th.
well, this
Okay,
year, yes, 12.
okay, so
And
what do we need in order to put in the fill
For
out
the
grant?
shed? Oh,
No,
that's
fill out
the,
the grant
that's the
application.
easiest part. That's easy.
Do
Couple
we have to have
questions.
an idea of what shed we're going with, or do we
No,
just?
no, because it's a set amount that you get reimbursed. What's this year?
6,000.
6,000. So,
Yeah. So we don't have to have encumbered the funds to
there
apply.
are
right?
some stipulations. I don't know if they still have the 120 square foot thing in there that used to be in there. I know Janine wanted it gone, but
Yeah, I don't think I
I
saw.
didn't see any of that.
Yeah,
yeah, then she might have gotten rid of that last time.
yeah, because I
Before
sat
she
in
left,
on the
but
webinar and I don't think they said anything about.
The size,
Max or minimum.
there's a minimum size. There used to be at 120 square feet, but I think, like I said, I think Janine got rid of that. She was still
Okay.
here.
Well, Paul's talking about 12 by 18.
It's bigger than 120. So.
Yeah,
18.
yeah.
I mean, really, the only thing is it just has to be indoors, it has to contain
Yep,
the stuff,
it
so
would
it
be.
doesn't get destroyed by the elements. But if you're talking 12 by 18, you're more.
Okay, all right, so we really need to get this ball rolling. First, we need to,
Yeah.
let me know what you need from me to do the grant.
We don't really need anything, just when we do the grant for that, it's just gonna ask you a couple questions, what you're applying for, and then target dates.
Okay,
That's about it. That one's real short, so that'll take 5 minutes.
So when does Susan work? Or when is she there at the
Susan
swap
works like
shop?
Monday through Friday, and she used to work till 2 and then go to the water department, but now they shifted everything to there, so I think she's there till like 3 or 4.
she sent me the hours.
It's like 9 to 3 would be the best. That's
Okay, so I'll send that out again, see if we can come up with a date. Is everybody interested in going? David wants to go. You want to go? Okay, so I'll send it out, see if we can't find a mutual time when she can take us around.
the worst case scenario. I've got the key because my office is there, so I can always let you in if she's not there.
Okay, well, I think she said she'd like to be there,
She usually is.
so that'd be fine.
You're at the dump?
No, I'm at the recycling center. They're dropping the cap for years. That's
Okay.
across.
Moving on,
the streets.
medication and sharps disposal. I emailed the police or the fire chief, he never emailed me back. I thought they had a sharps collection there.
Sometimes they just have, I think they have meds. It's even like the hospital, you can throw away old meds, but they won't take sharps, which is so weird.
Right, well, here, you can get rid of
It's
your old
expensive.
meds at the police station. There's a bin inside, you just
For sharps too, or just the.
No,
That's
not for
for
sure.
meds.
Yeah, that's why
That
it
was
would
a
be good to
national.
be able to tell everybody where there's sharps, and I don't know
Well,
where they are.
Somebody said they thought CBS had it, but I
No.
checked and I don't think
No,
they
none
do.
of them want to take it.
They don't take them back.
Yeah.
So there
I mean,
isn't
there's
one at
ways
the
to,
fire
you can mail
So
them,
you
but
He
used
never
to be-
responded. He never
So, yeah.
responded.
The FDA last year did a huge grant to like all the police stations to take back old drugs,
Meds.
like no questions asked, no drugs in
Oh,
general,
drugs.
any drug.
Okay,
You can put whatever you want in there, so, and they take it back, no questions asked.
okay, but,
It includes medications, but we're
Yeah.
talking whatever it is.
but we were trying to figure out with sharps too.
The sharps, I don't know. I thought it used to, wasn't it your health department was taking it for a while?
I can talk to her too and figure that out. I'm texting Mark now, see what his.
Okay. Because what we were trying to do was put together a comprehensive list for the
in Plymouth, it
residents.
was-
Yeah,
I don't know if it wasn't Planned Parenthood, but it
So
was something like that.
BMC used to take
BAMC, yeah. They do.
the shops, I don't know if they take.
Like,
them
He
anymore.
does, he has at the fire
where are
station.
they out at that, oh no, that's.
They used to be
Kingston.
in the industrial park, I think they moved to Portage.
Oh, they-
their
yeah.
I haven't seen
operation.
them out there either.
But, we have at least one at our fire station headquarters that shreds. The shops,
I thought they got rid of that.
it's compromised because it's a part that needs to be fixed on.
It was too
and-
expensive to fix. I
Yes.
remember that now, yeah.
But we're looking at, there used to be a grant for that for fire stations to get, so maybe the.
Sandwich
fire
got,
chief has-
Sandwich got the grant, and Tony got the grant, I remember that.
But
A long
I
time
think it
ago.
was the
That
new
was
director of the Board
7
of
years
Health
ago.
had some gizmo that melted the plastic and.
That's at the fire station,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
fire
it.
station where we don't have one from the board of health.
Okay. All right, moving right along. SSRC, we just signed off on some contracts, but I don't think did any of them affect Kingston? No. Okay, the other thing is I've been corresponding with Claire and Todd about hauler enforcement. As you know, we have a hauler reg here in town. It really needs to be updated. Todd said he would work with us on that. So I have the recommended language from DEP. So I'm going to put that on a future agenda to take a look at our hauler regulations. But then you need enforcement. And this was one of the issues that even though the state is requiring us, we get RDP points if we have ongoing enforcement, which we do not have. Health department doesn't have the time. We had looked into hiring someone part-time. I've brought it up to Claire. And there seemed to be a little wiggle room in the webinar that they just did on the grants, that there's a possibility of using one of those grants to fund.
Mhm.
But I know right now Claire's got her hands full with the Hazardous Household Waste Depot project. That's a huge project. So she doesn't really have the bandwidth right now to handle, an enforcement agent for communities. So I don't know if there's a member community that'd be willing to take that on. But that's what we really need here in Kingston is we need someone to enforce it. It's not a full-time job. It's not even a part-time job. A few hours each week to make sure that the haulers are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Does any town have that?
The bigger ones, bigger
Um,
communities.
There are, yeah, Abington is. What's his name? Charlie Murphy.
How about Braintree?
Braintree used to, they had, what's her name that used to work for the
Julie.
University, Julie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Julie Sullivan. But she moved on.
Right, but I thought,
Rosemary.
yeah,
Rosemary's not, there's really no active enforcement going on in Braintree at this
Okay.
point, even though they do have stuff on the books, but
yeah, I know felt that their program was deteriorating.
it is.
Yeah,
We're trying to work on some stuff, but they got a new mayor, which means
I know.
we're 2 years
Different
out.
priorities, yeah.
Well, and right now they're looking at a 2.5 just to fund the schools.
There's more than that. There's stuff going on with go back to there too. They might pull out, so
Okay,
which is another $1 million loss to the.
'cause I thought, Brian, his group was interested in working on an anaerobic digester. he had talked to me about.
Yeah, I
doing that in
talked to him
Braintree.
too. I don't see that happening, not with the new mayor.
Okay,
Oh, and they
She's
wanted to
still
put it in
getting caught
Braintree?
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's at least a year before anything gets done. So,
okay, yeah, because he was talking about them moving that depot that they have right now on the other side of the
Route 3.
yeah, the traffic circle there,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and then putting in an anaerobic digester.
That's all wetland, I mean.
It's wetland, there's nothing's going in there.
Yeah.
That'll never
It's
get
wetland.
passed.
I don't know. That's what he was talking to me about. Brian Donahoe.
My thought on
Donahoe,
the enforcement would be talk to Delshon in Rockland. She
Rockland.
loves taking stuff.
Well, are we gonna make her the new chair?
I
I'm
think
trying.
it would be a good one, to be honest.
Where'd you say Rockland?
Yeah, Rockland. So
Mhm.
Delshon loves taking on new tasks. You ask her you ask her if she's interested in something, she jumps on it.
She does.
9 times out of 10, she'll run with it. So
Yeah,
I would talk to her, see if she wants to spearhead that, because I think having an enforcement coordinator through SSRC and have Delshon lead the charge on that
Yes,
would be a good thing.
it would be
be honest.
useful to have a shared one. because
Yeah.
Nobody needs
Okay.
it.
It wasn't a no on the grant. It was, well, we'll talk about it. We'll-
Right.
we'll-
They were
we'll really
open
think
to
about it.
it.
They were open to discussion, which is
Yeah.
huge because I was not expecting. it. So,
right. Well, that's so you told us you didn't think that that was in the cards.
I didn't think
And
it
then when
was.
it came up, I was like, ooh.
Oh, I was cheering. I was jumping up and down. I'm like, yes.
I didn't see that.
So my camera was off.
Okay. But I think we have to weigh, do we want Delshon to take over chairman or do we want her to take over this? Because I don't think asking her to do both is going
I think it'd be fine.
to. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So-
I'm, you know, but we definitely need holler enforcement, but the smaller communities, you know, we can't possibly
Fund that.
fund it or.
No, it
oversee
has to be a group effort. And I think
Yeah.
that regional grant would be perfect for it, especially if we could get it.
Okay,
So,
but that's,
And
that,
particularly because the collectors are all in many communities. So even if you get complaints in one community, it doesn't mean they're doing it all over here. So if
Right.
it's through the whole collective.
Well, then we could do exactly what we did with Julie for the SSRC, which was we put her 6 weeks here, 6 weeks there, 6
Mhm.
weeks there. But in this case, it'd be enforcing the private haulers, which is a lot less time. 'Cause You're
Mhm.
not on the street every day, you're just
Right.
working with them. So
Right.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a phone call.
But it does take, yeah, it does take some
Yeah.
focus,
Oversight,
you know,
yeah.
which we do not have.
So Claire and Jean and I put that together, that grant for Julie. So can we just take that application and just update it?
I haven't seen it. They sent it to me and see.
But that's
I'm
got a
sure-
June
I'm
12th
sure Claire would
deadline,
have
right?
it.
But the thing is this is a completely different grant.
Yeah,
It does not have anything to do with enforcement. We're trying to get it as something that they're gonna talk about in Boston and possibly award.
mhm,
I don't know if it's gonna happen, especially since SSRC got the hazardous waste depot last year. I
Mhm.
don't know if they're gonna award another big grant to
mhm.
the SSRC. So that's what I'm thinking. If Rockland takes it on and you guys have that intermunicipal agreement between whoever wants the enforcement help, that would probably be a better way to do it.
Right, but do we have to have that in place before we apply for the grant or?
No, because we're gonna have target dates. So the target date for that agreement would be X date.
Okay.
Then you can apply for the grant now.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, it's a competitive grant,
Mhm.
so you're not guaranteed it.
Right, right,
So they're gonna look at all the projects. I know down in Southeast 2, Missy is gonna be applying for a hazardous waste depot too, so there's another
Oh, is she?
$250,000 grant there. So they're probably gonna get it, just
okay.
because I know they're interested in the hazardous waste, but I don't know how much money they have in Boston. They don't tell me that, so.
Okay. All
And
right.
My concern is this, why give a grant out when DEP could hire somebody in-house under their staff to go to CMAS? Because if the private halls in Kingston are recycling, it's the same halls in Plymouth, Pembroke, all around it.
Mhm.
So if somebody was at CMAS and saw the hauler come in, whether it came from Kingston or somebody else, said, you're not recycling, you're shut down.
So
So and
that's-
under, like, Laura appointed a climate chief. and
They
you
have-
need
they
to
have-
get
they
them
have-
to
they-
liaison with DEP and say, this is a climate issue.
There are 7 or 6 wasteland inspectors for DEP. That's the other side of our wing of.
Okay.
And they don't overlap with this at all?
No, because we don't work with a commercial. I'm only municipal. The
Municipal.
commercial side
So
works
how
on
do we
that side.
connect with getting them at our table?
Good luck. They don't have anything to do with this at all. They go out and they enforce the private, the waistband is what they enforce. So
Okay, if the
problem is
waistband
gonna be-
laws is not to drop the recyclables down in CMAS, that's part of their job, right?
That's what they're doing.
And our stuff goes to.
If they were
CMAS, so
doing
why
that,
do
wanna know.
if they were doing that, the 3 vendors in the town of Kingston not recycling would be shut down or they'd have to recycle.
Well, first of all, they would have noticed, and I'll tell you this, one of my municipalities just got nailed for 12 loads going into a facility over a
What was the
1 month
fine for
period.
that, like a dollar?
Right now it's a letter. 12 loads in 1 month went to a facility that were more than 20% contaminated.
Really?
Yep. So they are actively enforcing it. This just happened. I just got the note now. It was through the month of January.
And this is at CMAS?
It was at one of their facilities, not CMS, it was a Covanta facility.
Okay,
I can't give too much detail.
No.
Because I'm working with them to try and solve the issue.
okay.
So they are actively enforcing
Okay.
these things. They are. It is. I know
So-
you don't see it because they're not going after, you guys want them to be there every day and they can't.
Yeah.
There's a number of facilities across the state and there's only 6 inspectors. They gotta pick. and
Okay, but
choose.
then why is DEP giving us RDP points if we're actively?
It wasn't.
So there's a difference there.
Okay,
They're enforcing the waste ban laws, right? So
Mhm.
they're actually going to the facility and they're gonna look at what's in the load and say, that's over 20%. I'm gonna send you a letter or give you a fine,
Mhm.
right? That's what they're doing. The muni's role in this is to help out with that and try and prevent that from happening. So we want to make sure that we're capturing, actually, our division is trying to capture as much recycling as possible,
Mhm.
not necessarily keep it out of the trash loads.
Mhm.
That's not our role. Our role is to, well, that's all our roles. I'm not wording this correctly, sorry. I haven't eaten since breakfast, so. Sugar shopping. I'm a diabetic, so I'm doing one of these right now. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. So the role of the municipality would be with your hauler regulations is to make sure that the haulers are offering or not offering, requiring their customer to have a recycling bin. Whether or not they use that,
Mhm.
that's up to the hauler at that point. You're just forcing the hauler to do the right thing. You can never force a resident to do the right thing.
Right.
You can hold a gun to their head, they're still gonna put it in the trash.
Yeah,
Or they're gonna put their trash in the recycling. It's just what's gonna happen. You're never gonna get 100%. Nobody does that. You're lucky to get 60 to 70%, right?
Mhm.
That's the goal of this, is to try and get as
Okay.
much as possible. So our role is to capture, it, just make sure that they have that option available.
Mhm.
So, and then DP's role is to catch the violators and work with them to clean it up.
okay. So that flows into
makes
the
sense.
next item, which is our bylaw updating Kingston bylaw. I did a draft. I sent it off to Todd. You said when you get a chance, you'll take a look at it.
I'm trying.
I know.
With grant season, it's tough.
Grant season is busy. But I think we need to take a look at that and if we feel that there needs to be a change, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a fall town meeting. So it's possible that we could get that ready to go on the warrant for the fall, but we're gonna have to work on it soon. Okay,
Was it big changes or? You sent a draft of ours revised?
yes,
Or
to Todd.
was
to
it
just-
big changes or just?
Yes,
Pretty
because
big.
if you look at our current one, it says, all residents of the town using the Cranberry Road Municipal Landfill and Transfer Station shall be required to recycle. It doesn't say anything about the other several thousand households
Mhm.
who have private haulers. So that's what I think needs to be revised, is that
All
everyone,
generators, it's easy, all generators. All generators within the
everyone
town.
needs to, so that's what I,
But I thought the bylaw also states that the private companies have to offer recycling.
you're
too.
talking about
Curbside.
private hauler regulations.
Yeah,
we're talking about a
Board of Health.
So this is,
Yeah,
This is an
But
actual town.
our
bylaw.
town bylaw does not require anyone who's not using the transfer station to recycle.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's why I want to revise it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
what was the word you used? All what?
All generators,
Generators.
all generators.
which covers anybody that generates any kind of trash, whether it's a resident, a business, industry, a school, the library. Nothing's right as bus. Anybody, everybody. The town. Hall.
So I know the supermarkets, they send their organic waste to,
AD, most of it's an AD facility.
The Haiti?
No.
Anaerobic digestion, sorry.
do you know where that is?
Stop and Shop's got one, I think, somewhere central Western Mass, that way towards Springfield. There's another one, which is out that way on some farmland. And then you've got, what is it? Recycling Works, not Recycle Works. Is it Recycle Works or Recycling? What's our site? Our site's Recycling Works. So it's Recycle Works. It's the Bonagucci's. They've got the depackaging facility, and then from there, everything gets depackaged and then taken to an ED. So, and then digesters. But I think there's one in New Bedford, which is very small. It was like a pilot program they tried, and I think it's still running, but I don't know much about it. But I think there's 2 or 3 in the state. I think.
Well, there was a dairy one. There was
That's-
one at a dairy.
That's the one I was talking about, the farm one. Yeah, that one's pretty big.
Yeah.
That group was supposed to put one in Falmouth at the Bourne landfill, and that fell through because they couldn't get rid of the power.
Okay.
Nobody wanted to buy the power. It wasn't generating enough. So,
Well, there's a real active movement in Pennsylvania, primarily in Lancaster, to work with farmers to set up their farms to not only capture all of the methane, that's going out, but also product, any excess product, and just trying to make the farms a lot more environmentally friendly. So I would imagine we'll see more of that in Western Mass than here.
Probably
We don't
Western
seem to have
Mass.
too many dairy farms in the area.
yeah, the other thing you've got the whole DEI situation coming up too, which is diversity, equity, inclusion. You've got, and that's playing a big role in where these things are being placed.
Mhm.
The farmlands are great because they're really not, what are you gonna do? Affect a few cows?
Mhm.
But when you start talking about, inner city stuff and stuff that's more urban, traditionally, what we've seen, and this really stinks, is you have a lower income population or minority population areas, and that's where they put these facilities because it's cheap land.
Exactly. And
And
they're not gonna push back too much.
they don't because they don't have the money to fight it.
Right?
It's really sad. I've seen this my entire career, and it really flat out sucks. I hate to say it. It's heart wrenching because I've seen these facilities in these low income places and minority, primarily minority,
Mhm.
rich areas. And it's just horrific. It's horrific what happens. And it's from health issues. There's a lot of issues with asthma that happens from that. So you've got these minority populations that don't have health insurance that are now being affected by the stuff we're putting in there from the
Lovely.
much richer areas.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah, I'm about to cry. It's horrible.
So, okay.
Anaerobic digestion, that doesn't have any toxins released, right? Don't they capture that? and
No, but
compress the gas?
there's also the issue of preparing it. So you're bringing all this material that, you've got to sort through and you've got to make sure it's clean enough to go in the anaerobic digester itself. And what happens to that stuff? It's still going to sit in this area. It's still going to produce fumes and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's in this that is way beyond my scientific knowledge, which I have not. But I really-
Sure you do.
No,
Well,
I'm not a scientist.
Nantucket takes the waste from the wastewater treatment plant and all the organics, yard waste, food scraps, and runs it through the big long tube, and after I think 4 days,
Mhm.
the heat from the anaerobic digestion kills all the bacteria.
But yeah,
And supposedly when it comes out, it's certified safe.
that's what they said about the stuff coming out of Siemens.
Well, Paul, supposedly the heat temperature in the compost pile should get high enough to kill any weed seeds. Yet I just saw on Facebook, people were complaining that they're getting a lot of weeds coming up from the compost.
Mhm.
But shouldn't the heat
You would
of the
think,
compost kill them?
but we don't turn it every month either.
Yeah.
They
you
only
would
turn it
have to do
once.
it more.
Once every 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, but still, shouldn't it heat up pretty good?
Well, it doesn't, we don't have a thermometer up there inside the shed that they got there putting the pile.
Yeah,
Thought it was like 140, 150 degrees.
yeah. Maybe that's not enough to kill weeds.
Plus, it doesn't get a lot of snow in those piles in the winter, I know that. We're generating heat.
Okay, all right, let's wrap this up. Jean, shirts, you were looking into a few shirts for the
I
committee?
haven't done that.
All right, so that's on your to-do list? Okay. All right, is there anything else that we want to go over today? You have anything? No? Paul, Todd, you have any words of wisdom? Next.
No, I've preached. No.
Okay, next SSRC meeting is May 15th, and it is going to be in
Whitman.
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 Okay. All right, but it's always available via Zoom.
Would you
So-
say May 15?
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay.
At the Whitman Town Hall.
and we're gonna have somebody there talking about,
Is it tough stuff recycling? So,
they talked about mattresses at the last one. What is this one about? She just sent it to us.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Hmm. She sent it yesterday.
SSRC.
What does it say? Who's our speaker?
Hold on. She sends quite a few.
Hang on, tough stuff, mattress recycling.
There you go.
We just had a guy talking about mattress recycling.
Yeah, that was
Tough
what
stuff takes
Helpsy,
more.
Pansy.
They take more stuff than just that.
Is that what
Oh,
Halsey
tough
is
stuff.
on here?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we was at the last.
they do. Yeah, they're the ones that do propane tanks and some other stuff,
Okay.
fire extinguishers,
Okay. All right.
household furniture.
Okay. So at the SSRC meetings, if you're not familiar with them, Claire tries to get a vendor to come in and talk about the services that they offer so that member communities, if they're interested, can know what's available and see if they want to sign a contract. Paul, have we signed any contracts with any of those? I know you were talking to a couple of them. No, we haven't
No.
gone with.
Did
them.
you ever pursue the license plate reader
No.
person? That was pretty good.
That was pretty expensive.
It was pretty good too, though.
It was.
They were trying to do it for 15, 20 years. Mr. Guidaboni and Mr. Haas. Every year, Paul, license plate recognitions, you know?
And they tried to do it. They gave him a quote of 25 grand.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he,
And that's just the install.
yeah.
Then there's another
The monitoring
1,500 a year.
Yeah.
Selling everything out, there's a price to it.
But the nice thing is they do all the stickers for the town. Like you don't have to do anything. They do
Right.
All of the bill, like any billing stuff, they will take
Mhm.
over the whole.
Yeah, there is no stickers because that's why you read license. plate. But my concern is always been my concern is,
That's a good.
I have a
Plymouth
Toyota
has it.
dealership at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
They come up, they turn around and they leave. License plate recognition software, as soon as the car gets into the transfer station, it takes a picture and that plate is not in the system. It automatically sends these cars out of. Power. I have saved my chair as a highway superintendent for a lot of years because I try not to upset people too much. So if somebody drives up there, it gets turned and turns around, and gets out, and in a month or so, or 3 weeks, down they get a bill for whatever we decide it's going to be. Now they have to come in, they have to have a hearing, decide, oh, you can go
Yeah,
there. There's a lot more to it than just watching, looking at license.
What, like what?
So everybody got a chance to look at our new little trinket we're gonna hand out. So the last minute, I called Todd and I said, Todd, I'm having second thoughts about this. How does this qualify? You know, and he said it replaces 4 instruments. So I said, okay,
I didn't know it was that.
Reduce, recycle.
I'm still gonna, you know what? I'm still gonna claim that.
you're still gonna
That's
go with that?
exactly what we're gonna put on the.
Public
That's your
outreach.
story, huh?
That's what we're sticking to. I'm
Okay.
not gonna. do-
All right, so everybody who gets a sticker this year will get one of these, and I think I showed you all the little flyer that we'll have up on the window so people can say, oh, what is this? So now
We'll
they'll
put
know.
that flyer on the website also.
You
Yeah.
ask them optional, do you want to take this or does everyone just get it in their packet of literature?
Oh, no.
Well, no,
When we did
It's
the
offered.
bags.
Yeah.
Which
This
is
is
one of the first.
though. It's like.
I would be
well.
curious, how many people say no thanks?
well, they'll say, where's my bag?
I know they'll say that, yeah.
Where's my bag?
Really?
The first 1,000.
Hmm.
And the last 2,000, like, well, where is it?
Where is it? Where is it? But we got four, so we're good.
Yeah, so we're gonna, that's why we ordered
3,000,
3,000,
yeah.
you know. Hopefully there'll be a few left over that we can have for like the egg fair. and this
Oh, yeah.
kind of, but if not, we can order.
Well, I can always set some aside too. And
Yeah.
we hand out 2,500 versus 3,000.
Yeah, we can order more. I mean, they weren't that expensive. You saw it was only what,
Yeah.
$3,800 for 3,000, so. we
It
can
was the
order
buck.
some
It
more.
was the buck one and the scraper was the $2 one.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah.
That was
And
only
this
a
one
dollar.
is so much heavier and we didn't like it because it's too fat.
It's too fat. I know you guys described something really little and I like.
Yeah, ours was,
Claire's
No more
was
than an
maybe
inch.
that big, because I
Right.
got 2 at my house from the SSO.
You did?
They're, yeah,
yeah.
so. No, don't you remember the
Yeah.
ones that Claire handed out?
That's right.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
what
they're
we ordered.
perfect though. They fit in any jar.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did it great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so these were too big and they weighed too much. The transport on them was
Ooh.
astronomical. You know, so,
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't go with that. I don't
and they're all coming from St. Louis.
Could have borrowed the new tractor,
Anheuser-Busch.
We could have gotten the new tractor, yeah.
borrowed your new tractor.
What, road trip?
Yeah, road trip. St.
Try the new
Louis.
tractor, there you go. Gotta break it in.
That's right. Well, put a little mileage on it and get everything working. All right, anything else? Our next meeting should be back to on schedule unless that doesn't work. So it would be normally May 14th. Anyone?
I will not be
able?
here on May 14th.
Hmm?
I will not be here. I'm on vacation that day.
Wow.
That day? What
Well,
day?
from the 7th to the 15th.
No, from 9 to noon, I'm on vacation. Direct time.
Well, I do.
Okay,
Is that call all the
All right.
time? Just-
14th work,
Yes.
everybody,
No, Paul,
What time?
9,
Perfect.
back to our regular time.
I love it.
14 at 9.
Paul will send you the minutes.
Awesome.
Yeah, but then, okay, then we have one more meeting.
Well,
Huh?
well,
Are you why is the 24th thrown out
I am
there?
stepping down as the vice chairman of the South Shore Recycling.
Oh, okay.
Surviving.
Okay, well, we don't want you to come anymore if you're not that.
Oh,
She's on the board, she's got the power.
she does,
You're in trouble now.
but I will still be a member of the SSRC until such time I retire.
Yeah.
You're not retiring before me.
And the research has been done. I am the longest current sitting member.
Isn't that crazy?
Of what?
The South Shore Recycling Club.
But if there's not a member, she's the director, so there's.
Yeah, but she's been there longer than I have.
Yeah,
She's expected to. She's-
All right.
all right. So we have the date for the next meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It is now 4:06. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 4-0.
Wait, I can't vote.
We are adjourned. Thank you all so very much for your contributions today.
Enlightening?
It's either fun, aren't they?
Educational and entertaining.
Yeah.